Welcome back, guys. Episode 4, Be A Clever Homeowner. Thank you so much for joining us again. Third one. You know, maybe it's one of you, maybe there's 20, maybe there's 200. Doesn't matter. We're thankful for anyone that takes a look, and if we can offer you a little bit of advice or something that helps you out in the future, that's fantastic. Today we're just going to kind of, quick one, we're going to go over the top myths, right?
Yeah, the top 5. Actually 4,
and then
a little bonus. Yeah, a little bonus that we added in last minute.
But what is this right here?
Oh, yeah. So I picked this bad boy up right here. I saw the commercial on it, and I was like, you know, because we're both country fans.
Oh yeah,
country music fans. And this is Chris Stapleton's collab with Buffalo Trace.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So this is, but you know, Buffalo Trace is one of the oldest bourbon distilleries in the country. So one of the original distilleries here in our country. So yeah, we had to try this thing. It's called Traveler whiskey.
Oh, I like that song.
Right?
Trav,
oh man, that's the song right there. So we're gonna go light because lunch first. So
that's
yeah.
True.
So here we are.
Are we tasting this baby now?
Yeah, look, you know what? Let's taste it right now. This is the first time you taste it, right?
Yeah,
I clearly had a little sample, so I know how it is.
That's actually the after palate taste is kind of like I don't know why I'm getting like I ate a couple of Red Hots and it's been like a minute or two.
Yeah.
It has like a cinnamony flavor
cinnamon,
to it.
yeah, exactly.
But it's really good.
Like a little spice note.
And it's 90 proof. It doesn't taste like that. Like,
yeah.
Honestly, if that Johnny Walker that we tried before, that green label, I prefer this.
You like that? This has a little bit more body to it. It's a little.
It's less. This is strong, less smoky and more like
flavor.
A little more flavor on the palate, a little more spice. Very good sip.
Well, this is why I like bourbon over whiskey or scotch. Yeah. You know, scotch and whiskey, you know, they get their flavor from the barrel, right? The smokiness
just
from the barrel.
They're adding that caramel, that cinnamon, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. There's a little something in there, floral notes and all types of goodness. All right, so.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go right to it.
This is going to be a quick one, guys, but again, it's just, we hear these questions a lot, and rather than people having to call someone or ask, we're like, look, let's just knock out 4 or 5 of these things and give people some answers to some of the clever myths. So what's that first myth, Mel?
So the first myth that we have here is, do I need 20% as my down payment to buy a home? And Dave, you know, I hear this still. I hear this so much, and I'm so surprised, right? Because the info is out there. However, we still have that myth, right? You do not need 20% to buy your first home for sure.
So as a VA buyer, right? VA buyer is 100% financing, which means, and because through the VA, you're getting what's called your certificate of eligibility. And there's a certain amount of money that the VA covers. Basically, a VA loan, in a sense, the easiest way to sum it up is that you're buying a house with 100% financing, meaning you have no down payment. You still got closing costs that we can negotiate and everything else. But the only thing that a VA loan does is the VA basically says, look, you could buy this house with no down payment, 0 down, and the financing terms that you get, meaning no mortgage insurance. Sometimes the pricing's a little bit better.
Yeah.
All these things that are involved, that's because the government is insuring that loan for up to 25%. So the same way on a conventional loan where you go, hey, I don't want mortgage insurance. Well, you got to put down 20%. On a VA loan, even though you're not putting anything down, that bank is insured for up to 25% of the purchase price. So on a VA loan, guys, your down payment, 0.
Yeah.
FHA loans, across the board. Minimum down payment, whether it comes from you or it comes from a gifter, it's 3.5%.
Yep.
On an FHA loan, doesn't matter how much you put down. If you put down 50%, you're still going to have mortgage insurance. It's important to have your banker kind of review both of those options, conventional, FHA. If you're a veteran, obviously VA, and really compare and contrast both of those options and see what's better. But the minimal buyer contribution on an FHA loan is 3.5%. Conventional loans,
Dave, quick. So, how many times people actually put 3.5% compared to other percentages?
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it's kind of like the lowest point of entry, right?
it's 3.5% down, but FHA financing, you get buyers. Someone wants to put down 5, someone wants to put down 10, but usually, right? Like, let's say that you have some credit card debt or something else, or they want to buy down the rate. Easy peace of mind, right? With an average of, say, anywhere around 6%. Every $10,000 that you put down just in payment is going to save you $60 a month. Okay. Every $100,000 added to a purchase price is about $600. If you actually do the math on $100,000, 30-year term, 6% interest, it's about $589 or $599. So it's literally based on what rates are today. Every 10 grand is going to give you that. So sometimes we'll get clients that come in and they're like, well, guys, what if I put down an extra $20,000? I'm looking at this and going, look, you're a new home buyer. You got this $10,000 Chase bill that's 29% a month, and it's that 10 grand is $600. You got this other credit card that's $7,200, and your payment's $420. That's $920 a month shared over this, $19,000 in debt.
Yeah.
Now you can put that down on the house, and yes, it's true. That credit card payment isn't necessarily for life, but what I can tell you is most people that are in credit card debt, then you're going to go buy a house and everything else, you're probably going to be making minimum payments.
Yeah.
And if you're making minimum payments on a credit card at 29%, that credit card is for life. Because as long as you make that minimum payment, every month that balance is going to go down $10, then the interest charge kicks in, it goes up, your minimum payment goes up.
Exactly.
So in those situations, I'm looking and going, look, you could pay $20,000, you could put $20,000 down more if you want, and put down an extra 4 or 5% or 3%, whatever it comes out to, and save $100 on your mortgage.
Yeah.
Or you can pay that 15 grand and shave $1,000 off in monthly credit card bills and get into that house with much less debt. Yeah. So that's kind of how we look at that, guys. And then conventional loans, depending on the area, if the property is specific to some products that are available, there's 3% options. But most of the time on most homes, the minimal down payment on conventional is 5%.
5%, yep.
And again, there's down payment programs out there. There's lots of stuff like that, and we can get into videos about it. But the quick answer, guys, is VA 0, FHA's 3.5%. Conventional, for most properties out there, that minimum is going to be about 5%.
So you do not need 20%.
You do not need 20%.
Not even close.
You do not need. It's not. Most buyers, I would say that we. New home buyers, unless you got that rich uncle or those rich parents and people are just trying to get their foot in the door of marketing, very, very common that it's the minimal down payment. And then of course, we qualify you, we're making sure the numbers and everything work, but 3.5% FHA is a super, super common loan. And it's a great loan product.
Yep. Okay, so myth number 2. Myth number two. We hear this all the time, right?
Melvin, come on, dude. I want to look at homes, but should I wait till the market cools down?
Oh man, we get this from friends and family too.
So should I wait till the market cools down? Should I wait?
Look, I'll be honest with you. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? Go straight forward. There's not going to be a market cool down, right? Unless at this point. Right? No one has a crystal ball. Let's start with that, right? Because if anybody had a crystal ball, they'd be billionaires by now in real estate.
Absolutely.
Right? However, you look at the trend, right? And the trend tells you, right, that we're not going to hit the year 2008 again. That's not going to happen, right? Is the economy soft in certain areas? Yes, absolutely, right? The rate's a little bit high? Yes. But have we seen a drop in prices or any kind of inclination that we're going to have a market drop like 2008? Absolutely not. No, do not pay attention to the clickbait out there. There's a lot of YouTube channels, Instagram channels.
People in California, remember, we're the 4th largest economy in the world. California's real estate is its entirely own market.
Yeah.
Unlike any other market. Right? California is completely different.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, and obviously check your local market. I mean, I know this for a fact because my best friend now owns a home in Florida, right? Their market is completely different. He was able to get a smoking deal, smoking deal, because the market slowed down so much that new builders are starting to discount and do all types of crazy stuff for you, right?
And here's the same thing. You get a house that's listed at 900 and then no one's looking at it. The realtor says, oh, let's drop the price to 800. Then all of a sudden it goes to 800 and you got 10 people showing up to see it.
Exactly.
And then they negotiate and that price is
It's
right
back to
where it
900,
started.
950.
There's a lot
right?
of sales pitches and tactics involved. But
so the reality is that no, the market is not going to cool down anytime soon. However, what we are seeing is a steady market, which is actually good, right? We are seeing more of a buyer's market now. So what that means is that there are more homes available on the market, that there are buyers out there, meaning that you don't have to overbid for a home like before. Before, people were putting down 40, 50, 60, up to $70,000 over asking price just to outbid the other person. Those days are over, right? So what that means for you as a buyer is that you have the leverage, you have the power right now. The ball is in your court. So if the numbers make sense with your lender, right? Well, after working the numbers and you like those numbers, they feel comfortable to you, pull the trigger, right? Why? Because you marry the home, right? But you date that rate.
Absolutely.
That rate that you're thinking right now is so high, is crazy. It's 6.5%, it's 7%, whatever it might be.
And when people ask me that, right, real quick, when people are like, rates are high, my response to people is with that, and it's so simple.
What is that?
Compared to what?
Compared to what?
You're buying a house at 5.7 and you're telling me rates are high, but as soon as you leave, you're going to jam to the mall and you're going to go buy a new pair of shoes at 29%. And then you're going to make a minimum payment for 12 months at zero. Or you get that new credit card at 0% for 12 months. They don't pay it off. And after that 12-month 0% period runs out, that bank backfills all those 12 months of interest because you didn't pay that thing off. And now you're borrowing at 29, 30, 32%. So when people tell me, and on a mortgage, it's a fixed payment, 30 years spread out. Who the hell's... No one's going to lend you. You need a personal loan for 30 grand or 10 grand. That's sometimes lent out to you at 17, 18% over 24, 36 months. Anything in the 5s, low 6s, that's lent to you over a 30-year period or 360 months at that rate. Compared to what, guys?
I think people are feeling that rates are high because they're comparing it to post-COVID,
to COVID,
right?
That was an optical illusion, guys.
That was a completely different market. It was a way for the government to get people into buying things. 2% rates, 3% rates are not coming back anytime soon unless we have World War III or another pandemic. Okay, let's be real here.
But just know this, to answer that question, should you wait till a cool down? The only cool down that matters is when you're cool and you're calm and you're collected and you go over the numbers and if it makes sense to you, because trying to dodge this market, rates drop, you're going to have buyers come out of the workboard. A price drops on a sell, well, the price is going to drop on a purchase. The price goes up on a sell, the price is going to go up on a purchase. Like the market shifts and moves and does things. And we've said this before and you'll hear that recurring answer. But the only thing that matters is if the numbers make sense to you and the money that's required you have in hand and there's a need that's involved and all these things, all these boxes check off, who cares what the market is?
Yeah, and look at it this way as well. You listen to that, and that makes sense, right? And then add this to it. Right now, you have less competition, meaning that you don't have to overbid. Sometimes you can even lower the price of the property.
Or get a lot of concessions.
If a home, and a home has been sitting, if the home hasn't been sitting on the market for 30, 40, 50 days, you can go ahead and ask for a discount on the price of the property, get aggressive with your realtor, right? And also negotiate your closing costs, lowering not just the cost, the monthly cost, but also your out-of-pocket expenses, right? So the ball is in your court. And then let's just say the market does cool down and they want to entice and the rates do come down, right? 2 years from now, you can go ahead and refinance.
Absolutely.
So grab your 6% rate and put it at 4.5%. Save yourself extra money. Whatever you're looking at it there, look at the overall picture. you can definitely win right now if those monthly payments make sense and are comfortable for your family.
Myth number 3.
Myth number 3. Do I need perfect credit?
Not if you know me, baby, because I'll fix that credit for you. But the reality is, guys, absolutely not. Depending on the bank and the purchase, I mean, FHA loans, you can buy houses with FICO scores at 580. There's some things that are lower than that. 500 on certain occasions. If you got FICOs over that, there's certain financing terms and ways that you can get loans done. VA, same thing. You can buy with lower credit. There's different banks that have, guys, they have what's called overlays, which means one bank might say, hey, we do FHA loans, but only to a 620. Another bank might say, oh, we do FHA loans down to a 580. Some other bank says, hey, we'll do FHA loans with a 550 with this involved. You don't need perfect credit to buy. More often than not, there's products out there where a 600 or 620 FICO versus an 800 FICO is going to almost get you the exact same type of, the same rate, the same loan, the same payment. There's some myths out there. You don't need perfect credit. And another super important fact when it comes to credit is if you're trying to buy a house and you want your credit, you want to fix it or you want to pump it up, talk to a banker. A mortgage broker, talk to someone that knows what they're doing, because if you just go to some credit collection company and they're just going to go in your credit and dispute all these things, there's a lot of things that these people do that are going to hinder your ability to buy a home. There's things that are gonna do more damage than they do good. So the reality is, if you're not sure about your credit, like when I get clients, typically the first time I pull credit, I pull a soft pull. I do one bureau soft pull. That gives me an idea. I get to look at their credit scores. I can say, look, this is where your FICOs are at now. If we get your scores up 20 points, this is what it saves you, or it's exactly the same loan. In a certain situation, hey, we got to do this and this and this before you could even buy. So the question isn't, do I have perfect credit needed? The question should be, and what you need to start thinking about as a buyer is where my credit is now. What does that get me? Are there certain things I need to do specifically that I have to do to put myself in a position to be able to buy? And third, if I do this, this, and that, or if my score changes, what are the benefits to that, right? And it's getting educated on, can it work? What are the differences if my FICOs go up? What are the costs associated with some of these fixes? And just, again, talk to a professional, get that stuff. But the simple answer to that question is absolutely not. You can walk in the door with a 600 FICO score if the income, everything else works, a 580 credit score, buy a house on an FHA loan with 3.5% down and still get a pretty darn good loan. Again, we want to look over stuff, and if there's reasons why credit's down financially, maybe we want to wait on buying a house and fix some other stuff first. But that myth of do you need perfect credit is absolutely debunked. You do not.
Dave, little nugget, right? I think people will be surprised. At the average credit that one of our clients has when they buy their first home, what would that be?
I would say it's probably,
because it surprises me every single time.
Honestly, probably between 680 or 660 to probably like 685, 690. And the reason for that, guys, is because you get people that have perfect credit. And the reason these scores are usually 660, 670, 680, and I'll tell you, is because a lot of buyers come in and they're like, dude, I'm ready. My credit's perfect. And then I pull it and I go, hey, your FICO score is 670. What do you mean, dude? I've had a 740 for years. And I look and it's maybe they canceled Spectrum and they got a $13 bill. Maybe they had a Capital One credit card that had a $40 annual fee that they said, oh man, I don't even worry about that card. I pulled it off of auto pay because I paid the balance off and I don't have one. And then the following year comes along and they get that $35, $40 annual fee. They completely forget about it. Then they come see me and I'm like, dude, you had a 30-day late on this. What do you mean I had a 30? So there's a lot of times where that stuff happens and people don't know. And you'd be surprised because
I think people are surprised of what they qualify for the credit number that they have.
Yeah, they think that their FICO score associates to what they qualify for.
I got this question yesterday. at the gym, right? She asked me, do I need to be an 800 credit score? I'm like, absolutely not, right?
Not even close, yeah.
We don't see 800s that often, honestly. That's first.
The only
right?
one of the only 800s I know is my mom. I've been chasing her. I just had a conversation yesterday.
Yeah.
I yell at her. I do this for a living. She has like an 830 something, and I've been on her coattails forever. I haven't even cracked 800 myself.
Most of the times that I see, what I see is
So if you ever hear this, Mom, yes, I gave you a
mid
shout out.
600s. Mid 600s is what we
it's
see
very
the
common.
most,
Very
right?
common.
All right. So myth number 4. Okay. The first home has to be my forever home. Man, that's
I'll let you take that on. 'Cause
that is so not the case, and I'm the number one example of this. Man, I bought my home in 2008, right?
Yep.
And I knew what I was getting myself into,
Of course.
right? Because the market had completely crashed. I was waiting for things to kind of turn around because honestly, at the time, I had a really good corporate job. We both did. And then, we had really nice salaries, right? And we still couldn't afford Southern California, an average home, right? So I knew something was wrong with the market. I was not a realtor back then, right? Obviously. So I waited. That was okay. We were okay waiting and traveling and doing all this other stuff, right?
all the fun stuff.
Well, when the time came, right? I looked at the market and I was like, okay, now it's time to jump in, right? And what I was seeing out there for what I could afford, what we could both afford, right? These are two professional, high paying, in Southern California. I was like, man, we're gonna take a fixer. We're gonna take a fixer.
Yeah,
that was our game plan, right? We're gonna take a fixer. However, I always heard that buying the ugly home in the best neighborhood was the move, right? So that was our plan, right? Buying into a really good neighborhood and maybe the cheapest or the nicest, cutest, whatever home that needed work, right? So I knew I wasn't buying my forever home, right? But it needed to feel right for me. And that's going to be the case for...
It was your financially right home, not your forever home.
Those days where you buy your first home and you die there, those days are over, right?
Yeah.
The average person out there stays in their home no more than 9 years. No more than 9 years, right? So meaning that you are going to buy your first home. It could be a condo or a small 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or 2-bedroom, 1-bath, whatever it is. It doesn't need to be this perfectly manicured white marble, in the best neighborhood, 3-bedroom, 2-bath with the perfect school district. That doesn't need to be your first home unless you have the cash, right?
Yeah.
You have the means to do it. Most people are going to get into their entry-level home, right? It could be a condo, it could be a townhome or a small home.
And sometimes you don't know what you want or you need
until you walk it.
Because you've never had a home before.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes we get clients sort of like, I don't want to deal with yard work. Get this all the time. I don't want to deal with yard work. I don't want to deal with none of this crap. I don't want to have to deal with pool maintenance. I want like a townhouse where I got an HOA that covers all that stuff. And they're happy as can be.
Yep.
Marriage, then that marriage, the TV goes off in the evening times, and next thing you know, there's a 1 or 2-year-old running around, and then the next thing is, I hate the HOA. I need a yard. So they wanted that 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2 extra bedrooms for workspaces, and now they want to go 2-bedroom, 1-bath because their more important thing, their new goal is, we don't care about that stuff. Life change. We want a yard for the kids.
Yep.
We want this. We want that. So
the game plan is going to depend on you. Right?
Life changes.
Life changes. And where are you coming in when you're buying a home too? I mean, if you have kids already, you're going to need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, right? Or 4-bedroom, 3-bath property, right? However, it depends on your situation, but most people, they're going to get into the smaller home, right? And then in 7 to 9 to 10 years, you're going to trade that in. You're going to sell it. You're going to have plenty of equity, and you're going to be able to buy a really nice big home, completely remodeled, right, with a huge backyard and pool, whatever you want, okay? So does the first home need to be your forever home? Absolutely not, and you actually don't want it to be because you want to most of the times you kind of want to either keep it as an investment property, the first home, or sell it so you can get this chunk of change, right?
Use it on your
like, I
next
mean,
house.
perfect example. We have a client right now selling their first home, right? And what they're going to do with that money, they're going to buy a single family home now that they have the equity, and they're going to be able to buy also an investment property, a duplex with that as
Yeah,
well.
the gentleman
So-
bought his first house again. He was like, man, I really want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath single family. But he's like, you know what? I'm single. I make good money, but I don't really want to have this type of mortgage payment. So he bought a duplex.
Yep.
Then he met a girl. They fell in love. Now he has babies. He's like, dude, that duplex was awesome, but now I'm in a totally different place in life.
Yep.
So now I want that other house. Same example is you may get a couple with young kids. Maybe they got a couple that, maybe a boy and a girl, and they're 1 and 2. We start looking at homes, and there's a neighborhood that they really like because they want a school district, but it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath that they fit in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, right now, that 1 and 2-year-old, they can have bunk beds in the same room. It's when they start getting older that maybe you want to separate those kids.
Yep.
So there's all these different things, guys. But
Yeah.
again, if you're looking for, if you got a minimum down payment and your expectation is I need to find the perfect dream home, it can be hard to. It's your expectations
Yes.
might not meet reality, right?
What I highly recommend is get together with a great agent, great lender, right? Get pre-qualified so you know the number up front. Go see some homes.
Get an idea.
Get an idea within your price range and see if that works for you or not. And most of the times you're going to see, oh, I can totally see this working.
Yeah.
And now you can have a game plan drafted.
Property types too. You may love an area, but a single family don't work, and you never thought about a condo. But Mel's like, dude, look at this. This townhome's amazing in this thing. Oh, this works for me.
Yep.
So again, the main thing, guys, is just manage expectations.
Yeah.
But don't feel like you're committing to. Yes, it's a 30-year mortgage, but like Mel said, more often than not, people don't stay in these homes.
7 to 9 years is what you're probably going to stay on this property.
And then the last one that I'm gonna do, like a little nugget that I get all the time is, do I get something special because I'm a first-time home buyer? They come in the office, sit down. Oh, I go over loans. Yeah, but I'm a first-time home buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's someone who's selling a house and buying something else and going, oh, well, I don't have enough. Why? Well, because I'm not a first-time home buyer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's interesting. For first-time home buyer guys, again, that's kind of like a selling point. It's like
clickbait sometimes.
It's a
It's a little
mythological
it's a little
creature.
clickbait. Yeah.
The reality is there's a few down payment, gift of equity or down payment assistance programs. Like an example, you heard of one a couple years ago that came out, the Dream program.
Oh, was
and
that
on
the
that
down
program,
payment?
that
Yeah.
program was a down payment assistance. I could break that thing down in detail for people. Wasn't my cup of tea based on. I thought it was setting people up for wrong
We
expectations.
did help one family with it though.
When
So,
people understand how they
I mean-
work, it's important. But as an example, with that product, you not only could have not owned a home in the past, but you had to be a first-generation homeowner, which means if your parents own a house, you
Yeah.
couldn't qualify. So outside of that tiny window,
Yeah.
what they're referring to when you buy a house is the occupancy type, which means, am I buying this house owner occupied to use as my primary residence? So as an example, you bought a house with an FHA loan, Whittier, California. You bought this house, FHA, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Life goes on. We decide you want to list that home, sell it, use the profits to buy something new. Maybe it's in the same city, but now it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and you're selling yours, you're buying something else. You could qualify using that exact same FHA loan.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. You can own a house, say you live in Barstow because your first house, that's where you can afford to live. You've kind of been telecommuting to work and all this stuff. And now you say, hey, you know what? It's been a couple years. I make some more money. I want to see if I qualify for something where I really want to live in Orange County or closer to LA. Maybe it's a certain distance. You can have an FHA loan and still buy another one. It all depends in situations, their stipulations and stuff, but the reality is it's how you're going to occupy a property. Owner-occupied homes, like with the conventional loan, you can buy a house with 5% down. You can maybe outgrow that home or sell that house, buy something else, still take advantage of these products.
Yeah.
So when you hear first-time home buyer, typically exactly like Mel said, it's clickbait. It's people saying, oh, we got specials for first-time home buyers. What they're referring to is saying, look, if you don't own anything, most likely you're going to qualify for the minimum down payment, 3.5% or 5%, or one of these things because you're buying your first house. But there really is none of these loans that you can qualify for one property that you can't qualify for on another one, if the intention of that new home is to own and to live in it. We can get into stipulations like FHA, for an example, right? Say you own a house and it's 2-bedroom, 1-bath, then you outgrow that home. And you're like, man, we bought this. It was just me and my wife. We have 2 kids now. We really want to upgrade. Well, FHA says, look, you already have an FHA loan. So as long as your intent's to live in this new one, you could buy. But if it's not 100 miles apart, you got to qualify with both mortgages.
Yeah.
Conventional loans, they say, well, you're moving out of this house, you're going to rent it out. We'll use 75% of the rents, and you could buy a new house with 5%. So there's all these little stipulations. I know I blew through that stuff, and we'll have times where
we'll do a separate video on that.
I'm just trying to spit it out. But first-time home buyer is more clickbait than it has anything to do with actual reality. So at the end of this, I know Mel's going to turn back into a traveler because he's going to go and.
I got appointments.
Yeah, and we got some deals we got to slam out. But again, this was episode 4, guys. Thank you. We said it before. If there's questions or topics or something you want to know about,
put it in the comments.
Yeah. There might only be one, but we'll see it.
Yeah. We'll see it. And remember, if you have any additional questions and you want to speak to us directly, go on the link, Be A Clever Homeowner.com. You see it below. And just type in the quick info there. And that comes straight to us right here in our office, right? Not some,
it's not a marketing company where you become a lead and 50 people call you, guys. It goes directly to us and you get a call from us.
Exactly. You'll get a call from either myself or Dave directly, okay? And we'll set up a time. Let's set up a time to, talk about your game plan, what you're trying to do, and customize your plan, okay? So as far as this, Dave, I'm a fan of this. This is strong. Let's put it this way. It's strong. However, I like how it's kind of like his music.
Smooth.
And soulful. This is deep. It's deep.
It's Traveler, Stapleton's whiskey. So these guys, they did a great job on it.
Yeah, and I'm a Buffalo Trace, fan anyway. So cheers.
Cheers. Be a clever homeowner. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.